So some call it a studio, the trendy term is a makerspace, the passé word is a craft room. Either way, it's my favorite room of the house. You want to take a look? So one side is my kids' playroom, but this side is the craft room. So I've divided it into 4 stations. The paper crafting station, the sewing station, the cutting station or the fabric station, and the office. So let's start here. This is where I keep and cut my fabric. I store my fabric under here, and what I can't fit here, I store here. Yeah, it's a lot of fabric, but I love being able to come down and literally shop in my own basement for fabric. I always buy it with a project in mind, but eventually I'll get to it all. I try to keep things that I use regularly at hand. Rotary cutter, fabric scissors, little snips for threads, invisible pencils. These are for writing on fabric and then they disappear so you don't mark it up. Some fabric weights, clips in case I'm using something like leather and you don't want to pin it, you want to clip it. Measuring tapes, tape measures. I keep cutting mats on here at all times so I can always get a roller cutter, no damage to the underneath. I use Westcott mats. They're fantastic. Beautiful, pretty, inspiring bundles that I've yet to unwind. And of course, rulers. You can't have a cutting table without some really great rulers. Behind me is this, I don't even know what you really call this, but it prevents me from having to put my works in progress on the floor. I can sort of hang them easily up here on this batting, which is just quilt batting, the inside of a quilt. And then that way I can make sure they're lining up. If I'm partway through a project like this quilt, I can keep it all together. And then the pieces don't get lost. This has been really handy, totally inexpensive to do. This is just floor trim that I painted with a bit of quilt batting, and that's it. It just sticks on it. Easy. I also keep the thread next to the sewing machine that I use most often. This is embroidery thread and then sort of regular multi-purpose thread. I like to keep them color-coded, but usually if I've let the, the projects kind of mount up, they tend to get jumbled. But every once in a while I'll go back through and put them all in order again. But I love having them right where I'm working because that makes changing the thread all the easier. Speaking of sewing, this is the sewing station. So I have 3 main machines that I use all the time. This is the Janome Horizon, the Memory Craft 8200, and this is the one that I use for sort of everything. You can use it for quilting, you can use it for just regular sewing, hemming. If you're making just about anything, this machine is sort of, your one size fits all. It's heavy duty, it's got a large throat space. Honestly, I love this machine, it's great. And it's not too technical. You can get some really, really computerized machines, but this is really good for just grab and go. It's really easy to sew with, and I love it. And look at all the stitches it does, which is great. Honestly, you'll never even use all of those stitches, but it's nice to have every once in a while when you're embellishing something. The next thing I have, which I would recommend for anyone who's getting into sewing, is a serger. Honestly, it's fantastic. It really works well. People might think twice about getting a serger, and I remember being at the sewing machine dealer and having someone say to me, why don't you save up and get a serger? And I thought, what am I going to use a serger for? But it really does make a difference in having what you're making really feel a little less homemade and a little more professional. And then this is the Janome Memory Craft 9900. Now this is a treat. This is an embroidery machine. You can use it for regular sewing too. In fact, it's fantastic for regular sewing. It does it all. So if you want to embroider, or if you want to just hem some pants, or make a quilt, this machine seriously does it all. I love, love, love monogramming things. especially stuff for the kids. So this machine has been so great for that. The other thing I have from Genoa is the artistic cutter. This is, you know, for people who are maybe new into paper crafting, you know you're getting serious when you get an electronic cutter. And I keep this one here. It's basically like a printer, but instead of printing things, it cuts them out for you. So what this will do is you can take an image, put it in your computer. Let's say it's a picture of one of my kids. And let's say I wanted to do a silhouette. And then I can put it on a black piece of paper, their picture, and it'll cut out their exact silhouette. So I love this machine for being able to cut whatever I want and not being totally limited to just certain cartridges or just what I happen to have on hand. I like that I can download anything online and then cut it out on this machine. So this is the paper crafting zone, and I'm not sure where I spend more time, here or there, probably 50-50. But what I love about the paper crafting zone is how organized it is now. It hasn't always been this way. I keep all of my paper crafting supplies in these products from this company called StampnStorage, and they make only basically organizational products for paper crafters, so they really know what they're doing. In fact, the guy who owns the company, his wife is a paper crafter, so she knew what she needed and she told him and he made it, and now we all have the benefit of this. So I keep my paper in all of these paper trays, the 12 by 12 paper trays. I keep all my stamps and my dies in these boxes up here. You can kind of see in there. Opens up. Those are my embossing folders. This one opens up too, and it has all my wafer thin dies for die cutting are kept up here, and I just bring down the box when I'm going to use them. It helps me keep pretty organized. I like having this sort of rainbow color coded. It takes a while to sort it that way, but it helps you find things when you need it. This is all from Stampn' It comes in like raw wood, so you can really make it whatever color you want, or you can just leave it plain. It's beautiful just plain, but I painted the units with a chalky finish paint just to match sort of the back furniture that I already had in here, and I think it looks great, and it's so organized. I mean, before I had all of these stamp pads in a drawer, and now look, I can see all the colors. I can easily pull them out. Like, they even put this little groove here for your thumb. Like, they literally thought of everything. The other thing I love from them is the marker storage. Prior to this, all of these would have been like in a bag or in a box. Now I can see every single color, and it looks so nice all organized here. And then I've attached sort of my computer office area to the desk, A, because it's my desk, and because I love watching like movies and stuff while I'm in here, and that helps. There's also a place for ribbon, washi tape. I love that all the washi tape is here. Look, whenever you need a piece, you can just pull it down. It's ready to go. I love it. There's also something to be said for displaying all of your supplies. If you're like me and you sort of hoard craft supplies, having them all out on display is really, really so inspiring. It makes you want to be in this room. It makes you want to make something great. And what else can I tell you about this space? You like being in here too? Yeah. The kids are always in here with me. It's next to their playroom, so I like having them close by. And you guys come in here too, huh? What's your favorite part of it?
Everything.
Everything. I know. Me too. Me too.
No, not everything. You.
Oh, me. Aw, thanks. So, this is my craft room. I hope you'll come back and check out some of the projects that we create in here.